Good afternoon and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be watching and, well, not watching, we're going to be breaking down and reacting to Evil Season 1 Episode 10, Swans a Singin'. So, jumping right in, the episode begins with the team being called to investigate an addictive Christmas song that is spreading amongst the students. It soon becomes much more insidious when some of the students start stabbing themselves in their ear to stop the music and the voice. There is also a voice. While at first it's thought to be an earworm, which to my understanding through the show is like, you know when you hear like, It's a Small World After All, I believe is the example they use, and then you get it stuck in your head, and then you sing it out loud to get it out of your head, then somebody else gets it stuck in their head, and now there's two of you, and then there's three of you, like that. Okay. The team discovers the song is playing in the background of a makeup tutorial video on social media. The influencer's name is Melendez. Ben then figures out that there is a video message hidden within the video that only kids under the age of 16 years old can hear. I've heard of this before. I think it's an interesting concept in the show. Not sure how much of it I buy. Wow, my hair is a mess. Sorry. The message is how do I put this? The message in the video is a ending yourself instructional meme, shall we say. The team confront Melendez and they tell her they need her to take it down, that people are getting hurt, that it's a really big thing. And actually, Kristen's daughters get into it. And she does this like Melendez challenge, Kristen, where you watch like a 96-minute video, wherever the fuck. And at the end of the video, I think you say something like Melendez's challenge 3 times or some shit. Anyway, she does it. She watches the whole video and she says it 3 times in the mirror, kind of like Bloody Mary. And then all of a sudden the kids can hear, her daughters can hear the music and the voice. And one of the girls actually ends up stabbing her ear hole. She doesn't, like bust your ear. She's not deaf or anything. But, I mean, it's a pretty big deal. So after Melendez is confronted by the team, she goes to her therapist to vent. And guess who her therapist is? It's Leland. It's Leland Townsend. Of course it is. And they discuss it. And, she's kind of panicking. And what if the police get involved? And, she mentions Leland by name in this imaginary scenario that he had given her the recording or whatever to put in her video, right? To which Leland gets very, "Are you threatening me?" kind of to her, and gets very intimidating in his very subtle Leland creepy way, right? But we do find out that it was him that gave Melendez the video or whatever, the track to put in her video. But she does take it down and she does an apology video, and it's very cringeworthy. I mean, she wasn't wearing the gray hoodie or anything, and there were actual tears. But other than that, it was your pretty basic apology video. Very cringy to watch. David also ends up going to confession And we find out that he and Renee did actually sleep together. But they decided between the two of them that it was like a one and done, and they're not going to see each other anymore. So he goes to church to confess this. And of course, you know, he is forgiven, my son. Yeah, he gets forgiven on the condition that he promises not to give in to temptation anymore, right? And then as he steps outside the church, and he's just sort of standing around outside, thinking about heading to his car, we see this like shadow kind of watching him. And he calls out to it, and he starts walking over to the car, and thus the shadow. And as he moves into frame and then moves back out of frame, like, well, not out of frame, but moves to the side so that we can see around him again, we see that the shadow is gone. So this shadow has disappeared while he's walking toward it. It was very odd. And then he sees this like heart with an arrow through it that's been drawn on the windshield of his car in like the condensation. So he goes to wipe it off and realizes that it's done from within the car. And so, you know, he gets together with Renee and they talk about it. She doesn't know what he's talking about. He also has found this like note with the same thing drawn on it. Something was written on it. I can't remember what was written on it. But he shows that to her, and it turns out it's not her. She says that it's Julia's writing, like his ex-fiance. And yeah, it's just weird. And then he ends up going to confession again because he didn't finish confessing to the priest. He told him about Renee, but, well, not by name, but he told him about the situation. But didn't say that he was, in fact, in the process of becoming a priest himself. And so he tells him this. And again, he's forgiven and everything, and it's all good. But then he goes outside, and he's standing kind of looking at the nativity scene that's outside the church. And it is very pretty. But as he's doing this, he suddenly gets jumped and attacked and stabbed. And I think that David got in I think he cut him or something. He got the knife at some point. They're wrestling around. And I think he cut the attacker, but I'm not 100% sure. But that was a jump scare. Holy crap. I was like leaning forward, watching the show, whatever, just kind of, it was late at night, so, I'm kind of just chilling. I actually jumped back. It was really well done. I was really taken aback by it. I was not expecting that at all. And then also, Lexis is getting bullied in school, and she comes home and is very quiet about it, and she doesn't want to go play with her sisters or anything. She ignores Cheryl when she initially comes in and just goes right out to the backyard to sit on the swing set, right? Cheryl goes out and sits with her, and Lexis ends up telling her, this girl's been bullying me at school. She's a lot bigger than I am. She pushed me to the ground. Her knee was all scraped up, and she was really upset about it. So Cheryl tells her to hit her. And not just to hit her, to get a rock and to hide it in her hand. And when she hits her, she's going to bleed just a little bit, but she's going to think it's because you're punching her when she's hitting her with a fucking rock. So far as to tell her to, when you're done, just let your hand fall to the side and let the rock fall to the ground. Kind of like, in The Godfather when, was it the fat man says to Michael Corleone, just let your hand fall to the side and drop the gun and then just walk, don't run out of the restaurant. Kind of like, it was that kind of vibe. And I have to also say that Cheryl was wearing red when telling her this. And then later on, of course, when Lexi hits this kid with the rock, she gets in trouble for it and tells her mother that, Grandma told me. Kristen goes to confront Cheryl about it, and Cheryl's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I never talked to the kid. We didn't have that conversation. I'm not saying she's lying, but I didn't say nothing, right? And then sits, and at that point now she's in her normal, like her black attire. She's normally wearing dark clothes and stuff, right? I think. But then Cheryl goes to Lexi and is like, you know, everybody lies. Like, lying is just a thing that we all do. Like, you'll learn when you're older. Everybody, mom lies, I lie, your teacher lies, like everybody lies. And that's fine. But what we don't do is snitch. And it's kind of scary. She's like telling her little granddaughter, like, girl, snitches get stitches. Okay. Like, is the vibe. She doesn't say that. But that's the vibe. Like, it's creepy. And then we find out, as they're finishing up their talk, right? Leland calls Cheryl. And Cheryl's like, I gotta take this baby, but I love you. And thanks Leland for the advice. Like, Leland told her to tell Lexus that. I was blown away. What? And I honestly thought the red had something to do with it. Like, when she's wearing red, we know that she's like crazy possessed, you know, demon Cheryl. And when she's not, maybe she's just normal Cheryl. But that is so not the case. She's just fucked up no matter what she's wearing. Oh my God. That was crazy. And I want to know with this card that David had, with Julia's handwriting on it, how in the fuck? How'd that happen? Right? Come on. Really? I have questions. The other one was, oh yeah, I thought the twist with the clothes, I already talked about that, and what the fuck with David. So, yeah, I mean, what the fuck with David? Why? The end of the previous episode, we see Leland scrolling the incel page, right, online. And this time, we actually see somebody, like when he first talks to Cheryl, in this episode, we see he says he's at work with his last patient or whatever, and then we're shown like this struggling sack on the couch. Like, literally somebody's like in a sack struggling on the couch. It is weird. It's not explained. It's never shown again. It's just we're shown it and we don't talk about it again. What? Is that the guy that was sent after David? Like, I have questions. And also, like, did David hurt this guy? Are we going to like find him in a hospital somewhere or something? And what about David? Because it ends with him on the ground, of course, bleeding, and Kristen calls him. But to our knowledge right now, he doesn't answer the phone. So, like, what a cliffhanger. What a Christmas type episode, I'm telling you. Wow. I am intrigued. This show is so good. This show is so good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it with me. I would like to know your thoughts, but no spoilers, down in the comments. Your conspiracy theory of what was in that bag. What was in that bag? Come on now. How did the note get there with Julia's writing? I have questions. Let me know your thoughts. No spoilers, though. Until next time, take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the next one.